Hello everyone, welcome back to Of Bricks and Dragons. Today we're looking at Figure Friday. We have Steel Core Troops from G.I. Joe. So we have two figures inside this, or we're supposed to have two figures, seeing that that's the way it's always looked in all the reviews and that. So this was a little bit more expensive. So if you're looking at this, you can get it off of Amazon. It is available. But we do have two figures. And as you can see, all the different things that we have, kind of look around here. We have two backpacks, we have two different rifles, two different handguns, an extra gun of some sort here. Looks like we have a magazine, a couple magazines here as well. And then we also have two different sets of helmets. So depending on how you want to do it, we have one as a smaller build, more predominantly like a female figure, and one more as a larger build, that of a gentleman here. So we're going to get this out of here. I'm using a little bit different setup, so unfortunately we're just kind of muddling through the fact that my camera is taking a dive and I have to kind of do this with a different camera. So here we are. I'm trying to find, there it is, ye old pocket knife. I used to keep this on my keychain all the darn time, and now I don't do that anymore. Okay, so we're going to take this out. We're probably going to get some crunchy sounds as I, oh no, wait a minute, this is all the box stuff, so I guess not. Alright, so we'll have this in our background here. So we got one box with all of our accessories, and then we have one kind of setup here with our figures themselves. So looking at this, we have some shoulder pads, we have a flak vest of sorts, and of course we have holsters. We have some rubber plastic here to hold them in comparison to years ago where they used to kind of tie these in with a string. So we'll see how this goes. Looking at the helmet here, looks like we have a knife, or as I like to tease around because of the way it's spelt, it's a knife. I'm going to have everybody kind of saying goofy things here. All right, we'll get them out of here. We'll get things going. Okay, we have the gentleman out of there. And we'll get our lady friend out of here too. Okay, so for anyone that's not familiar with this, so when I was first looking up Steel Core, because I wasn't so familiar with Steel Core, the Steel Core originally, and there's a kind of a reason for that. When you look at the Steel Core, I was thinking it was actually meant for like Destro. I was kind of thinking about picking up a second set if I could, but I figured, well, let's just go with the one. And that's what I did. I just got the one. But the history behind the Steel Core was this. Once upon a time, way back in the 80s, I know this is a long time ago and not a galaxy far away, but a different there we are. Get her standing up here, and then we'll see if we can't get this gentleman to stand up here. In a G.I. Joe universe instead of our own. In order to try and get it so that way kids felt that they could put themselves into G.I. Joe, as it were, they developed a mail-away figure. And actually my best friend was over, so and he remembers getting this figure. Now me myself, I don't remember getting, or I never mailed away for any of the figures, but he was able to get one of these. He was one of the fortunate ones that did. So you know, you would submit submit your name, some of your information in that, and what they would do is they would actually come up with a file card of you to put you into G.I. Joe. That's how we got the Steel Core. So these are really meant to be generic G.I. Joe figures that is essentially you in G.I. Joe. And that's another reason why we have the helmet. So, you know, some of the collectors, the people that, kids at the time, they were not overly happy having just a helmet. They wanted to see their own face in there, but it's a way to put you into G.I. Joe without having to make a new face mold or whatever else to do that. So this is where we are. Kind of empty out our bags so we can see what we all have here. So here's our backpacks with our rocket packs, I should say. And then we will get our weapons here. Okay. And then we have our second box sitting here. So Steel Core Troopers. So we have two rocket packs here. And depending on how you wanted to do them, I mean, we could have the long flames here, and we could actually kind of angle them like they're zooming our way, one way or the other. And these will go onto their backs. Let's see, we have some different effects here. So we'll have to take a look at some of the different weapons that we have so we can see what we've got. This would be a good one for a small gun to sit there and see it's just kind of steaming. So at the end of the pistols or some of the rifles, I'm looking at the pistol here. Nope, that's not going to have her. This rifle will. So we could actually put this on the barrel. So we have a smoking barrel. Whoops. Okay. So what I got to do is I got to figure out exactly where I am here. I'm used to having my other camera, so unfortunately I'm working a little closer than what I should. Okay. Actually, why don't I kind of drop this down a little bit? And maybe I can move this up a little bit. Seeing that we're going to be doing this for just a little while here, we'll have to kind of work through this. We'll move these guys out here a little bit more. And then really I need here, I got a pencil here, so what I can do is I'm going to cheat here and say right here. All right, so whatever I'm doing now, hopefully I'm doing it out here so you guys can see. So here's our backpacks. Like I said, we can put these in here, and it will fit in there because I just had it in there. So it's in there. So we can have them kind of zooming around. So we got two of these. We do have two alternate heads. So this looks like possibly the helmets do come off. So I guess what I'm going to try and do is see if that helmet pops off or not. And it does, but that's what we have underneath. We really don't have anything underneath. So whichever helmet you have, that's really it. So kind of looking at this here. So we do have like a pouch bag here for maybe magazines or whatever. We do have a pistol holder, so we can put our pistol in there. Sits in there pretty good. We do have combat knife. So we got our combat knife. Kind of do the same thing on the gentleman here. All right. Get him there. And the combat knife. All right. And he does have that very bulky build, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but just, okay. Trying to keep his shoulder piece up on his shoulder. All right. And there he is. Okay, so we do have the helmets here. So looking at the guns, looks like we have a grenade launcher underneath here, and this looks like a fairly large caliber. Of course, it has a little bit of a scope on there. So that takes the magazine pretty far up there, so that works pretty good. And of course, it does have the ability to put the silencer on there. We have another combat rifle here, and of course, with our magazine. So we'll get that in here. Looks pretty good. It's a nice base green, so that matches their uniforms pretty good as well. And of course, we have this one here. And it looks like all of these magazines are pretty much going to be the same caliber. So whatever you want to call it, it's just the G.I. Joe Special as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really matter. It's all for fun and play. As far as I'm concerned, they could shoot paintballs. Seeing that in the cartoon, nobody ever really got... I mean, we had some instances where people got hurt for an episode or so, but beyond that, nobody really made it long-lasting. And that is one of the things that's been kind of talked about, the differences between the comic books to the cartoon, where the cartoon was really a little bit more regulated, so you know, you could do this, but you couldn't do that kind of deal. Which, you know, I guess in some regards you could say rightly so. You know, they wanted to make sure it wasn't too violent for the kids that were supposed to be watching this. So I do understand the idea of it, especially having kids of my own. Of course, I grew up watching stuff about World War II and Vietnam and everything else. So I guess it didn't matter as much to me. Not like I think it really matters. And I'll say like today we worry a little bit about it, but there again, I you know, you see what happens on the cop shows at night or whatever, which I don't really watch all that much of that, but I think we have more violence on TV today than what we did watching G.I. Joe. You know, 500 rounds would be shut off, and then, you know, a rock falls. So, and even watching like the Clone Wars for Star Wars, the same thing. You know, we might destroy drones or whatever, but usually saw people get up and walk away, and then they got healed and all that. And the, you know, the droids or whatever, I think I said drones before, the droids, they might get destroyed, but they weren't looked at as humans or whatever. They were just looked at as just objects. So I think it worked. But it's still the same kind of, you know, everyone's kind of concerned about how much violence the kids are watching, and I understand that idea. So, but looking at these, so we do have, like I said, the drop bag, we have the holster, we have some knee pads here. The feet, her foot really swivels from side to side, and it does kind of go back and forth. So, you know, we have movement there. Of course, this should be a double hinge here, and it looks like it from here. But, you know, in all of these, it's always been very tight. So trying to get it to move, and that sometimes, I'm sure if I played with these a lot, they'd loosen up after time. Same joint here that we would always have right there. We do have it so she can swivel, and I'm sure he's going to be the same way. Arms, you know, because they're a little bit bigger. You know, we have like a double ball joint in here, so I don't know how well you can see that. You know, we have the ball joint here and another one, so it gives them a little bit more movement. The whole thing here is the armor's kind of limiting as to how much you can really do, which is, you know, fine with me. I don't have a problem here. Looking at the utility belt, we have some clips here, so if there was something you could kind of clip on, that looks kind of nice. Looks like magazine pouches on the arm here, on the upper arm, and just being regular here. So this guy, our more brutish guy, our bigger guy, he looks like he's got almost like shotgun shells. So I'm going to guess he's going to have the grenade launcher. I don't know if you're going to want to have that on here. You know, I don't know what kind of grenade launcher they're intending for this. Oh, look, we're going to have a silencer and a grenade launcher. You know, I really don't know. I know for a while there, the Army was looking at having I think it was like a 40 millimeter grenade launcher, which was actually the primary rifle, and they were going to have a 223 rifle underneath that. So the primary was really going to be the grenade launcher, and I think it had like a 10 round magazine or something like that. This looks like it's really just the grenade launcher underneath whatever system this is. And of course with GI Joe, they have a lot of different systems on here. Everybody's got their own kind of preferred rifle system, and it's all over the board. So, and being a kid, that's kind of the nice and interesting thing where everybody's got their own character, what kind of guns they like to have, and everything else. So, I'll say it this way, I guess, in a military sense, that might get to be kind of chaotic. Just trying to figure out exactly what kind of ammo to carry and everything else. That would get kind of chaotic here. Now he's got, I didn't really mention it, she's got pouches here with her weapon belt here. A little bit bigger on him because he's a bigger frame. He's got the clips back here. Now she's got the pouches on her upper arm where he's got just the rounds here. Looking side by side, the pouches are scaled down. So these, to me, would almost be like maybe pistol magazine pouches, where for him it could be rifle magazine pouches. And then she's got like a first aid pouch here or something where he's got something else here. It could be something inside there. I don't know. Really, it's like just trying to downscale this for a female figure. The only problem is sometimes it doesn't always work the same. You're trying to get the same amount of stuff on a smaller body is really what the problem comes into. We have some very talented women in our military that, they can keep up with the guys pretty well. So I don't have a problem with that. It's just trying to fit everything in that smaller frame. And of course, one of the things I didn't mention here is this seems to be a newer feature here. To me, I think this is what they're using for their comms and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what his is like here. No, he's got the same thing. It's just that when I'm looking at it at an angle, almost looked like there was a different print on there. But no, it's done the same. That might be their communication up there. Instead of having a big radio, it's just right there. I don't know what they all have in the military anymore. I am 30 years away from being in the military. It was a long time ago for me. So what they all carry and everything today is a whole different world. And the older I get, the worse it's going to get. So, I'm kind of stuck back in the Stone Age. I think we had the flint knives. Let's see, we had the flint bayonets. I think we carried a couple rocks to throw at people, a couple spears, stuff like that, compared to what they have today. All joking aside, I mean, it is value-wise, this does seem really nice. I mean, we have some different weapons systems here. Things seem to be pretty good. If I'm going to grab anything for anyone, I mean, they already have their pistols. I might give him maybe the grenade launcher because he looks like he would have that. We can make her more of a sniper or something. She's got a better scope, or maybe if I just want to keep her a little lighter yet, and I could give her this. Either way, this very easily could go with having a second set of these and just changing out the helmets so that we have different helmets here, and go from there. But I think that's one of the nice things about doing stuff like this is you could actually have maybe some different helmets, so you can change them up, just like with the Cobra Troopers and the Vipers and all that stuff. You'll have two different helmets for each figure, so you can have one as one and the other as the other, and you can kind of do army building that way. So who knows? Maybe I might have to get a second set of these and then say, hey guys, here we are. This is us. You know, something that's a little generic, but something that we could kind of make into our own and go from there. But all in all, it looks really nice. I really like how these look. Let's try and get one of these jet packs on here, rocket packs. So, and let's see. Oh, there is enough room. He's a little taller. He's tall enough here at least. If I can keep him in here. Hopefully I don't break anything. That's really more my concern. Okay, so I can have him standing here. Oops. Now he's a little heavy in the back, so now I'm gonna lean him. But yeah, I mean, I could have him standing here with the entrails. I don't know if she can do this or not. I don't know if that's going to be. I mean, she's just a little bit shorter than him, but not by much. I think it said that she's like 5.9 inches tall, and he's like 6.1 inches tall. So if I can get her to stand, she can do it. I don't know if that piece is right. No, it's just off the ground. But you know, we could do that. So that'll work. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Looks pretty good. We're going to add these into our collection. We'll have to figure out exactly where I'm going to start going with these, because I have other figures in that I really want to show too. So more for future Fridays, Figure Fridays. So we have more to come. I do have more figures to unbox. I have plenty of other figures that are already unboxed that I'm just waiting to get unboxed to show you. And the ones that are already unboxed and that, you know, we'll kind of go through all that stuff too. Kind of show you some of the silliness that we have to have fun with, and we'll go from there. I'm hoping you have a wonderful day today. Thank you so very much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video.